Hey, what is going on, guys? Mama's ThePromG. Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, what I have for you guys today is my first impressions of Dorohedoro by Q Hayashida. Dorohedoro is a series that I've been picking up recently just because some of the volumes have been going out of print, but the series has been on my radar for a while. I figured what better time to pick it up than the present. So I'm 3 volumes into Dorohedoro, have a lot of other volumes to read, but I've been putting it off so I can make this video for you guys. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into what I think of Dorohedoro so far. So the world of Dorohedoro is basically split up into 2 parts. We have the Hole and the Sorcerer's Realm. So the Hole is kind of this rundown, gritty ghetto type area where all of the humans live in the story, and as you can tell from the title, the Sorcerer's Realm is where all the sorcerers live. And in this story, the Hole where all the humans live has basically become kind of this testing ground for all the sorcerers to come in and try their magic. So this could be like from turning people into bugs, different animals, you know, just all kind of mutations. Really, anything is free game with these sorcerers when they come down to the Hole and do these experiments on these poor people. One thing I remembered from an Ushu Shelf video that he mentioned that kind of stuck with me when I began this series is that in this story, the sorcerers are actually the bad guys, and the humans are the good people, whereas in other fantasy series like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, those kind of series, the people who use magic in those series are always portrayed as the good guys, where the humans are kind of the antagonists who don't really understand, kind of like muggles, I guess. But it's flip-flopped in this series, where the humans are the good guys, and then the evil people are the sorcerers who come and use their magic to do harm to the humans. Now, the main protagonist of this series is Cayman, and he's a human who actually had his head turned into a lizard head at the hand of one of these evil sorcerers who came to the Hole. So he's a human, but now he lives with this reptile head and no memories of anything before the incident. Now, in the very beginning, we're actually thrown into a scene where Cayman is trying to swallow a sorcerer, and 2 things are later revealed from the scene. One being that there's actually a human head inside of Cayman who he can't communicate with, but he's trying to use to find the sorcerer who turned him into this lizard head person. Once the sorcerer is inside Cayman's mouth, the head inside of Cayman says, "You are not the one." And when Cayman finds out that the head said this, he kills the sorcerer because now he knows that this wasn't the one who turned his head into a lizard. And then the other thing we later find out is that Cayman is actually immune to the magic that these sorcerers use. Apparently something happened after this incident that left him with the lizard head, and he's no longer affected by the magic of sorcerers. Because he's immune to magic and he's been killing sorcerers trying to find out who turned his head into a lizard head, he becomes a huge target for the higher up sorcerers who want him gone. So the basic premise of this manga is Cayman and his friend Nikaido, who go around trying to find the sorcerer who turned his head into this lizard head, while also being wary of the sorcerers who try and hunt him down and kill him before he kills any more sorcerers. So now that we've gone over the basic plot synopsis, I'm going to go over some things that I think are really good about Dorohedoro so far, the first being the world building. Now, even though I'm only 3 volumes in, I can already tell that lots of love and detail has gone into building this world and making it so vibrant and lively like it is. Everything from the different buildings and settings to the characters who live in the Hole just make it a really vibrant environment, even though it's kind of this dingy area. All the stuff that goes into the Sorcerer's Realm, like with the masks and the devil and all that stuff, it's obvious that this world was made with lots of love from the manga. Some of the best world building that I've ever read in manga so far, and I'm only 3 volumes into the series. And I just kind of said that the Hole is gritty, kind of ghetto area, but it's very vibrant in a way, and I know that kind of contradicts itself, but I think that the world building really plays to the gritty art style of Dorohedoro, especially in the case of the Hole. Now, if you were to compare the Hole from Dorohedoro to real life, it'd be kind of like an area with lots of poverty, where yes, everyone's poor, everything's kind of run down, but that place you're going to meet a lot of interesting people, and the whole environment kind of has this whole culture that's bred from the struggle that the people are facing. Now, as for characters, I'm really loving all the characters so far, especially Cayman and Nikaido. They just have a really good relationship. Nikaido actually owns and lives in a restaurant that she lets Cayman eat for free in. They have a really good relationship, obviously being great friends, but also Nikaido helping Cayman find the sorcerer who turned his head into a lizard. And honestly, the dynamic between both of them is full of comedy and just really relatable things that you could relate to with one of your best friends. For example, there's actually a part in the first volume where a sorcerer attacks Nikaido in her restaurant and turns her arms into insect arms. And when Cayman gets back to the restaurant and sees the sorcerer and Nikaido with these bug arms, he's not like too concerned about her well-being. He says, "Yo, you let this weakling sorcerer turn you into a bug? And by the way, you look horrible." And then obviously Cayman goes and he swallows the sorcerer and just cuts him up, but it kind of goes to show the relationship that Nikaido and Cayman have. You know, it's obviously a loving, good friendship, but there's also some typical humor that you'd find between a real-life friendship that you have in real life. Now, the 2 other characters in the story that I think have a really good dynamic are Shin and Noi. They're actually called cleaners for the big head honcho sorcerer, and they're basically sent out as hitmen to go and kill Cayman. And Both of them are really badass, but they also have a really funny dynamic as characters. Kind of going back to that, all the characters and relationships are really believable. They're cracking jokes with each other and just have a really believable relationship, while also being these really badass characters themselves. Now, based on what I had seen before going into Dorohedoro and actually reading it, I really didn't expect so much comedy to be in this manga, but it's definitely a pleasant surprise to have kind of these lighthearted jokes being thrown around. Yeah, the story is good, but this humor just adds extra elements to it that makes it really, really enjoyable. And the other thing that I really enjoy about Dorohedoro is the unique art style that Hayashida brings to the table. Like I mentioned earlier, the manga has this gritty, dark, kind of sketch-like art style that I think really boosts the world-building elements in the story. And in my opinion, this gritty art style also helps solidify the dark and violent tones that are going out throughout the story with these violent action scenes. I think that this art style is very, very fitting for the subject matter of the story and the violence that accompanies it. Another thing that I really like about this manga is the character design. Now, there's an obvious emphasis on the character design of these certain characters, where you have the sorcerers with their unique masks that they all wear, and also the grungy clothing that everyone in the whole wears as well. Throughout the manga, you'll see lots of full body shots of the different characters, such as Keimin and Shin, who all have this unique clothing style that they wear. And one thing that I noticed throughout this manga is that there seems to be a lot of streetwear influence that goes into the character designs. There seems to be some techwear influence going into it, where you see the characters with these tactical gear, like vests and straps on their legs, and also some more streetwear based influence, such as I think Shin actually wears like Air Force Ones or Jordan 1s, I'm not really sure. There's definitely some recognizable silhouettes of sneakers that you can see in Dorohedoro, and I think that's just a really cool thing to see, especially as someone who really likes streetwear, to see this kind of integrated into a manga. Now, I do have one complaint with the kind of gritty art style, that I don't think it translates all too well into the action scenes. It's kind of the same problem I have with Blade of the Immortal. While the artwork is really good when nothing's really going on, sometimes it's hard to follow the action as it kind of chops from place to place, and you can't really tell what's going on because sometimes it's just a mass of scribbles, it seems like. And I mean, you get the basic idea of what's going on, but I just wish that the action was a little bit cleaner. But overall, I'm really in love with the Dorohedoro art style. Just the elements that it does boost, like world building and the awesome character designs that are in the manga. I really think that the art is a plus. Now, another quick critique that I have, this is kind of small, but there are two characters, I forgot their names, the guy with the bird mask and the skeleton girl, I think Abitsu or something like that. It seems like some of the humor that they have is forced with their interactions, and it's kind of the same problem I have with Berserk, or at least the later parts of Berserk, where they have like Puck or the other fairy just kind of saying some funny thing in the background. Sometimes I feel that this forced humor kind of does take away from the story and slows it down a little bit, but all things considered, the humor in Dorohedoro is really top-notch when it comes to the natural flowing humor that you get from the other characters, but just these two characters in particular kind of take me out of it at times. But overall, it's really a kind of small nitpick that doesn't really make too much of a difference in the long haul. But that being said, my experience with Dorohedoro thus far has been extremely positive, and I cannot wait to keep reading it after I upload this video. But yeah, those are my opinions on Dorohedoro thus far. I definitely recommend it based off of what I've read so far. So yeah, if you can find it for a good price, definitely go ahead before it goes to out of print or some of the volumes get harder to find. But yeah, that's a wrap of the video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. And yeah, this has been ThePromG. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and as always, hope to catch you in the next one.